Thomas and the Dragon. It was a bright, sunny day. Thomas the Tank Engine was chuffing along the Chinese railway with his friend Yong Bao. "You're so lucky to be here in China for the New Year," Yong Bao told Thomas. Thomas noticed some people carrying pretty red lanterns. "Those are the lanterns for the New Year party," said Yong Bao. "But do you know what the best part about New Year is?" Thomas chuffed as hard as he could to keep up with Yong Bao. "The dragon! The what?" Thomas called after him, but Yong Bao had disappeared into a tunnel in a puff of steam. Moments later, Thomas caught up with Yong Bao at the coal hopper. "What did you say was the best part of New Year?" asked Thomas. Thomas thought he had heard him say dragon, but surely there wouldn't be a dragon at the party. "The dragon is usually the best," replied Yong Bao. "Usually I take the dragon to the big square, but as you had guessed, I think you should have the honor." Thomas did not like the sound of this one little bit. In fact, the more Thomas thought about the dragon, the more he began to worry. "Don't dragons breathe out smoke?" he thought, "and fire?" When Yong Bao caught up with Thomas later in the day, Thomas was looking terrified. "I really don't want to take the dragon to the party," Thomas blurted out. "I'm sure it is a great honor, but will you pull the dragon, Yong Bao?" Yong Bao looked sad for a moment, but he agreed. "Okay then, you can take the lion." "The lion?" said Thomas, shocked. The morning of the party, Thomas headed to Yong Bao's shed. He was coupled up with two coaches, Anan and Lin Yong. "Phew," said Thomas, pulling off down the line. "I'm glad I am pulling you. I guess I don't have to take the lion after all." "Oh yes you do, Thomas," sang Anan. "Oh yes you do, Thomas," sung Lin Yong. Suddenly Thomas felt scared again. He spent the rest of the day steaming from station to station, picking up passengers. Thomas had a very busy day, but he couldn't stop worrying about lions and dragons. Just as it was starting to get dark, Thomas pulled up alongside Yong Bao in the town square. It was filled with glowing lanterns. "Wow, this party's amazing," said Thomas, feeling happy there were no lions or dragons around. "I'm sorry I didn't bring the lion." "But you did bring the lion, Thomas," said Yong Bao, smiling. Two passengers got out of Thomas's carriage. They started pulling on two parts of a costume. A lion costume! Thomas couldn't believe it. It wasn't a real lion after all. "Look, here comes the dragon," said Yong Bao. Thomas gasped and closed his eyes tight. Then he heard a cheer. He opened one eye and then the other. "It's not a real dragon," puffed Thomas. The dragon was a beautiful long costume carried by people at the party. "Of course not," smiled Yong Bao. "What did you think?" Thomas blushed and felt very silly. "Maybe next time I feel scared, I will talk to someone. Then it might not be so scary after all," Thomas thought to himself. As the dragon was marched around the square, drums boomed and fireworks lit up the sky. "That's what I was trying to tell you, Thomas," said Yong Bao. "The best thing about New Year is..." "The dragon," smiled Thomas.